gang, welcome back to another episode. On the last episode you'd seen me and Tom focusing on fixing this root section to this part of the tree, and in here we do have stainless steel box section, and in here we have stainless steel box section, one which then feeds into another. We fitted all of this steel section in here, then we placed this trunk on top, making sure that the box section inside was all lined up and all of this seam line was all butted up nicely. And then we filled this area with resin, encapsulating the box section. We let that go off, and then once it's gone off, it's completely solid and in place. Then once all that was done, we focused on the branches, and these branches are detachable. And the whole purpose of this tree is so that it can be taken apart and put together, it can be moved to sites. Because trying to actually deliver a tree with all its branches on, I mean, it's near on impossible. This can be dismantled, put on a pallet, shipped wherever it needs to go, assembled in place by the customer. Everything's going to be color coded. It's all going to be super simple to put together, but it has been a bit of a challenge to actually get to this point. It's been quite the engineering thought process behind it all. Because normally what you would do is you would then fiberglass up a mold, you bolt the mold together, make sure it's all in one piece, you take it out, you fettle it, you finish it, and presto, completo, finito. But this piece needs to be taken apart, put together, it needs to be seamless, it needs to be strong. So it has taken a little bit longer, but I feel like we've got there, and I feel like the systems that can be put in place can be remedied, it can be made a lot more simpler, and I think it can be more efficient. But at the moment, what I'm doing now is I'm just fitting these last three branches, which are down here on the left. And what we've done is we've put some 16mm round into these branches, and we had a stainless steel sheath that was cut to this length, and we fitted it to the opening of this branch. We set it with resin, we pulled out the branch, we let it go off. And now what I'm doing is I'm just filing down the faces of these branches so that it can basically be butted up together and fit really nicely, much like what this seam line's doing. And what I'll do is I'll just show you how this comes off, he says. So this just pops off like so. Oh God, blimey, a bit tall for me. And then we've got your double pin. So you've got a pin here, and then the main structure that goes into the actual tree, but they both interlink with that branch, or that branch opening, and then it can't move. In hindsight, what I would have liked to have done was use a smaller box section, which then basically you only need one pin, because obviously box section to box section can't move. Circle into circle moves. So for me, that was a learning curve, but it's worked, and I've learnt a lot. And it just slots in like so. Pow! And then you've got no seam line. But this is all going to be cleaned up. This is going to be patinated with traditional bronze. You're going to have the bronze powder brushed through, and actually it's going to look like a really nice bespoke piece of artwork. And the idea of it is to go in the center of a table when you're sat having lunch, or it's at a wedding, and then it acts as like a parasol. So it gives you shade. It also looks nice. But what I'm doing now is I'm going to clean up those faces and try and attach the branches. So let's go. I think this one goes into yonder. Let's see if this pops on. There we go. It's like a dream. Pops on like a dream. So as you can see, this twists like this, and we don't want that twisting. So I'm actually going to have to drill a hole into this face here, and we're going to have to just insert a stainless steel pin so that it doesn't twist, basically, because at the moment it's not very structurally sound. You don't want to be sat underneath that and just get whacked in the face. Or you do. Depends what you like, doesn't it? I know. We're going to take this out, then we're going to start drilling holes and pinning it and making it nice and strong. I've now got to have a look at where I want to drill this hole, and I'm thinking of more room at the top here in this area, so I'm going to go directly above. That's lovely, lovely jubbly that is. Lovely bit of squirrel. So what I need to do in order to get this pin in this hole and to be strong, I need to make the hole a lot larger than the pin itself. I've scored up the end of this piece of steel, and I just need to make sure that it is obviously parallel and in line. As you can see here, it wants to come towards me, which tells me that the top half of the hole is not further enough in, and the bottom half is too far this way. So what I need to do is I need to just make that hole a bit bigger and a bit deeper, and this should line up so it's nice and perpendicular, if you like, and square. So ideally it needs to be like that. So I've cut this pin down because he was a little long, and the fact that I would have to drill quite deep here means that I'd probably end up coming out the side of this branch here. So actually it doesn't need to be that long for it to stop it from twisting, it just needs to be secure. So I've made this hole nice and large, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this with resin. I'm going to clean out this hole with a bit of acetone, so then you don't get any delamination, because if you've got resin dust and you put wet resin on resin dust, if you put wet resin on resin dust, sometimes it can just act as like a barrier, so it can sort of delaminate. And you don't want that. You don't want this popping out the hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean it out, we're going to fill it with resin, and then I'm going to just sort of make sure that this is in nice and secure, in place. And yeah, I feel like this is going to work quite nicely. Short and stubby wins the race. Just cleaning the surface area with some acetone. So gang, now I've mixed up some resin. This is just the standard body filler, so it's got like a pink hardener that you can pop with it, and it goes off really quick, but it's great for these sorts of jobs. I'm just gonna put a load around the thread here, like so. Get it into all those nooks and crannies, which is what's going to key into the resin. I'm going to start popping it in this hole that we made. There we go. Fill it right up. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use the end of this thread to sort of push it down to the bottom of the hole. Make sure that it's all in there. There we go. So that's been pushed itself out now, so there's air at the bottom, which has made its way to the surface. We've got lovely ink in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that to go off, and then we will start sanding these faces back, getting them nice and clean, and then offering it up to this face, and we'll drill a hole in this one, and then what we'll do is we'll cover this side in wax. What I've done in the bigger ones was I actually set the sheath that would go over this inside, but because we haven't got much space here, I actually wanted to put the cap of this tree on, and it all fit up nicely, and I know then how much room I've got left to drill. We left this section off, and you can sort of see the seam line that I've sort of patched it up, but I wanted to use this as like an opening or a door, if you like, so I can actually figure out where stuff's going, and then I pop the cap on top. So what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to put an extra sheath in and nothing fits properly, but as you can see we've still got about 2 centimeters of space up here, which actually is going to be perfect for this pin, just to nuzzle it inside. Oh, damn dog, you scared me. Yeah, just gives us enough room to pop the pin in. So what we've done is we've obviously fitted this pin. Now I've drilled a little pilot hole. Hey, alley-uppy! Drilled a little pilot hole. I just want to see if it goes in. So it does, it fits. I just need to make that that pin a little bit more tapered. So I'm going to make this hole a little bit bigger, and then that pin is going to sit in there like a dream. Like a dream, baby! just need to make up the difference. So what I need to do actually is I'm going to wax up that pin, because I made the hole quite big. I'm going to wax up the pin, and then I'm going to stick it back in, and then it's going to mold in the resin, but because it's waxed, it ain't going to stick to it. And what I'll be able to do is pull it out, and it would have just made a little mold exactly the same size and exactly the same place, so it's going to lock in and detach exactly the same time every time. So I'm going to crack on now and get each and every branch ready and all sort of ground back and sanded back and seamless, and then we're going to get ready for patinaing the whole piece. It's going a traditional bronze. I do need to drill at these holes. There are a load of indentations. You see here, Jordan, look, all these little indentations that you see. I need to just drill all these out, because there are going to be some blossom foliage which is going to be stuck in all these holes, and all in all it's going to look like a really, really nice piece.